It's 3:30 at the Edge of America, and the Icebox Radio Theater is on the air. That's right, coming to you over the FM here in International Falls at 106.9 FM, as well as on the Icebox Radio Theater streaming station. Apologies to those folks for interrupting whatever it was you were just listening to. Technically just how we do it around here. And of course, on the Facebook, we are live. This is Live from the Icebox, which is a news and information and whatnot show with just about everything you need to know about the Icebox Radio Theater this week, the week ending May 24th, 2026. Plus, plenty of great radio drama. The theme of the day. The theme of the day today is bugs. That's right, insects. We're going to have a couple of classics, an IBRT classic from 19 years ago, as well as an all-time favorite from the show, from the show Escape. I'm talking about Leiningen versus the Ants, and the IBRT offering is entitled Buzz. Bet you haven't heard it for a while, and we're offering all of it up here on Live from the Icebox, which is having technical difficulties as per usual. But right now, a word from our sponsor.
Hello, I'm Linda Pearson McDonald from the Canadian Ministry of Exports and Tourism, speaking to you today about an important issue affecting both our peoples. For some time, export of the Canadian loon has been a drain on the Canadian economy and a sticking point in international relations. This unfortunate situation has led to hard feelings along the longest unguarded border in the world. Originally, Canadian loon exports were a source of pride for all of us in the Great White North. When we saw one of our loons excel in a movie or television show, loons such as Mike Myers or John Candy, it gave us a source of pride to know that our American cousins were watching one of our own, even if only to fall down and pretend to hurt himself while dressed as a gopher or similar degrading animal. Now, it has come to our attention that living conditions for the Canadian loon in the continental United States are at an all-time low. Mad TV's insistence on domestic comedians and the sad, pathetic slide of Saturday Night Live has left habitat for loons scarcer than ever. Even dramatic loons, such as Nathan Fillion, are forced to return again and again to the same poisoned habitat to try and eke out an existence from Rupert Murdoch. Attempts to export new loons have met with mixed success, as Americans appear to lack the ability to appreciate the subtle irony of Don Cherry and that Just for Laughs show from Quebec. Canadian loons need American habitat to survive. Without international cooperation now, American TV and film viewers may soon face the reality of a world without the Carries and the Myers. A world in which the need for straight-laced, uptight white guys must be filled with loons from unfunny places like Nebraska. And that dry, chilly, not quite British wit will be forever drowned out by guys from Philadelphia named Ponyboy. Won't you please help? Write a letter to Quincy Jones, producer of Mad TV, and ask him to give a brother a chance. Sign one of the many internet petitions to give Nathan Fillion a show on Fox that won't be canceled after half a season. And most of all, support your local comedy club, where the Canadian loon goes to feed, groom his plumage, and mate. Together, we can make room for all the future call-in mockeries and more laughter for us all. I thank you.
Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
That was indeed Trelawney Irwin. Oh man, it's a blast from the past in its own right. That was a skit from our Convergence show. That's right, 2008. We had a favorite sci-fi convention. The family did, I should say, a favorite sci-fi convention there in Minneapolis, and we had a great old time attending that and doing a couple shows that year. That's in the past. You asked me what's in the present? Well, IBRT news, of course, and there's a lot to report. Let's begin with the metrics for the week. Twitter followers stayed exactly the same, 667. We picked up one follower on Facebook. We're now at 954. Such good news. Instagram followers similarly stayed the same at 327. Patrons and members, all wonderful. We love you all. 76 wonderful patrons, 47 wonderful members, same as last week. Streaming radio station did take a little bit of a dip, I should say. 728 unique listeners. You're all unique, but you know what I mean. 728 unique listeners. That was down from 812 the week before. These listeners represented 70 countries, which is down from 72, and the percentage of listeners who enjoyed our shows for just 30 seconds or less, just basically checked us out, then move along, 87.9% of the listeners did that, which is up slightly from 86.1 the week before. Top three countries by minute, excuse me. Russia suddenly reappeared on the leaderboard, or on the podium, I should say, at number one. The Russians have won for the week, followed by Germany and the USA. Moving on to podcasts, we were a podcast week. We did drop a podcast this past week, but the numbers were slightly down. 44,913 subscribers across all platforms, and that is down from 46,295 the week before. Okay, so what's going on in IBRT land this week? Oh, so much. If you haven't listened to it, Eric is online live. So many references, says Eric, probably to the Canadian loon. Yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about that skit. I actually hadn't heard it in years, and I went looking for something preparing the show last week, and realizing that, my goodness, there was so many Quincy Jones and Mad TV, all of these things. More of the 90s, really, than the aughts, but there we are. Thank you, incidentally, Eric, for listening live. Lance Manley has been released this past week. If you haven't heard it, Lance Manley and the Case of the Suspicious Spy, I think it came out pretty good. It's a little more substantive than a lot of Lance Manley's. Put a little more time into the sound design. There were some footsteps. There was some echo when they were in the basement. All that important stuff. I hope it was an interesting soundscape for you. It starred, of course, Caleb Silvers as the titular Lance Manley, as well as Ayla McIntosh reprising her role as Nora Diamond. I was the villain. I was the suspicious spy, actually, but I'm not going to tell you any more about that because you can go listen to the show your own self. And Justin Kapla did step in a little bit over the internet airwaves. I think I've mentioned before, Justin, who was a workhorse of this theater for years and years and years, has relocated. He's not moved too far. He's just moved to Grand Rapids, Minnesota. That's like an hour away. And he will still act with us over the phone, but his new job is keeping him very, very busy. So when things settle down there, I'm sure you'll hear a lot more of Justin. Okay, speaking of, have a major announcement coming from Icebox Radio Theater. I think in previous editions of, Sheila's saying hello. Hello, Sheila. I've mentioned in previous editions of Live from the Icebox that the next one on tap for our big show should be The Winter Warlock, for a play called SS USA. That one is being postponed, partially, as I say, because I really think Justin would do well in this play, and he just needs some room to breathe right now. And as it happens, I sent a quick email to the out-of-town cast of Rum Runner Sue, which would include, of course, Billy Joe Cones, as well as Trelawney Irwin. We just heard a teenage Trelawney in the Canadian Loon there. And as well as Tanya Milosevic, who has appeared in many, many plays for us over the years. She's in Boston, and Trelawney's in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And Billy Joe is back in Minnesota. She's in Minneapolis now, had been living in Atlanta for a number of years. And within an hour, I heard back from all the ladies saying, yeah, let's do a Rum Runner Sue. So, made the executive decision. We are going to be moving Rum Runner Sue ahead of The Winter Warlock, and we're going to go ahead and do that play next. Now, we have a read-through planned for Wednesday of this week, and we normally, the system is we do a read-through of a script, then we kind of decide at the end of the read-through, okay, when's everyone available to record? Because even though we got 3 people from out of town, we do like to record live, and live with each other, I should say. And I would be very surprised if, let's say, probably first week of June, that we don't have this in the can, so to speak, and then it's just a matter of editing. So if I had my best guess, I would say you're going to hear Rum Runner Sue in the month of June. We'll just have to see, but that's the way it's looking right now. So that's the big announcement. Winter Warlock is on the back burner. On the front burner is Rum Runner Sue, with a wonderful play. Hopefully a wonderful play, which is entitled The Songbird of Alcatraz. So won't tell you any more than that because you just got to listen to the show. Other news, if you're local, and that is me, of course, as we are triple casting this broadcast, including at 106.9 FM. And if you're picking it up at 106.9, you're probably very, very close to the source here. And if you are local, know that we're going to be having another edition of the Radio Club there at the Public Library this Tuesday. I'll be sending out some reminders tomorrow, I believe. One change we will be making, we're going to be moving the time from 6:30 to 6 p.m. because the library is now closing at 7 all week, and this is a summer change to the hours. So we'll only have an hour there, and we'll probably do the same thing we did last time, where we will listen to a classic old-time radio play, or maybe one by the IBRT, I don't know. And in addition to that, we will turn around and read a couple scripts. So do stop by Radio Club at the Public Library here in the Falls, Tuesday, 6 p.m. this week. Other news, let's see. We have, believe it or not, I had a good Larry Snow idea. And I very rapidly went from taking notes to doing an outline. Who's Larry Snow, you ask? Because unless you're paying very close attention, you probably missed that. Last winter, so winter of 2025, we did a live show at Bacchus here. And that live show featured a new mystery character named Larry Snow, who is a reluctant detective in a small town in Minnesota. Other than the detective part, it's fairly autobiographical. And the initial script, the initial story was called The Baby in the River. You can see that, or hear that, I should say, on the Icebox Radio Whodunits podcast. And now we're going to have the second ever Larry Snow saga. And this one's going to be called The Old Man in the Forest. And I won't tell you more than that because it hasn't been written yet. I have an outline, but I haven't moved past the outline. And I know from experience that if I start blabbing around what the story is going to be, I'll start writing the thing and it'll change. So that's the big news. It looks like Larry Snow is next up, and very, very exciting there. In addition to that, I've been taking a lot of notes about Halloween. Now, we've done a couple different things for Halloween recently. For about 3 years in a row, the Winter Warlock and Sidney Thermidor did basically a TV special on Facebook video. You can still see those. They're on Facebook. They're also on YouTube. And they were a whole lot of fun. Enjoyed those an awful lot. But that also featured me and Justin Kaplan. Justin's not living in town, so it's kind of complicated to do one like that. And plus, I feel like these ideas, they have a lifespan. And those went on for about 3 years, and that was good. More than that, I don't know how good it would have been. Oh, Eric's saying, yay, Larry Snow. Great, fantastic. I'm all ready to write now, Eric. Thank you so much. So I'm always on the lookout for another original idea with Halloween, because live shows here at Halloween, they draw okay, but they don't draw as well as Christmas shows. So our next live show there at Bacchus is probably going to be in December or late November for Christmas time. But I had this idea. How about we do a live stream of a couple of radio plays, one original and maybe two old-time radio classics, and we do it in a supposedly haunted house. Imagine this. You tune into Facebook video, and here is one of our standard radio plays, only we're in an attic, or we're in an empty living room, or we're in the basement of a building. And it's just one camera, and they're there, and we perform with the best audio we possibly can. I know of a couple of old-time radio shows that are perfect on a ghostly theme, and I know I could come up with something fun on a ghostly theme. And we sell it to the folks as, hey, buy a ticket online for this and come and watch and see if you can't see something, because this place is supposedly haunted. Now, I put out a request on a Facebook group called the iFalls Nice group, which is just nice people in the Falls saying we need a place to be nice because we got a lot of grumpy people in this town. And I asked, anybody know any haunted buildings? And, oh, man, 20 people responded almost immediately, several of them talking about Bacchus. Now, we had a studio in Bacchus for a long time, for about 8 years. And I know what they're talking about, because it wasn't like I heard a ghost, but I heard a lot of noises, because it's a 3-story concrete and steel reinforced building. And a lot of times I would be there I would be the last one in the building at night. I'd be there late at night doing something. And when I left, I will admit, I walked out pretty fast, but I never for a second thought it was a disembodied spirit chasing me. It was more just there's a lot of little noises, and I knew better at Bacchus than to hold really still and listen, because if you do that in a big building, you're going to hear something. No matter what it was. So that's the basic idea. I just wanted to mention here this Halloween idea that we do a live stream, we do some radio drama, but we do it in a supposedly haunted house, and I got a lot of potential things. But we got to keep this show moving. So just put that on the back burner. I mean, it's not even summer yet. Shouldn't be worried about Halloween. All right, I am trying really hard to keep up with the correspondence, because people are leaving comments on our various podcast hosting places. For example, individual calls himself Chat with Strangers, left this comment on the Boiler Trap, which was a Frozen Frights episode from a couple years back. The Boiler Trap sounds like a terrifying place for anyone with claustrophobia. I agree. It's not actually what the play is about, but absolutely. The Boiler Trap, I think I've mentioned before, that was a play based on the idea of when we replaced our 100-year-old boiler in this house. I don't know why. I was watching them knock this thing out of the way, and I said, wouldn't it be cool if they unearthed that and there was a hole underneath? Because there shouldn't be. It's just a giant water tank. But anyway, thank you so much, Chats with Strangers. And then I heard several things from Akira.c/Riles, and all of these are on the Spotify platform. Attached to the Demon, he or she said these podcasts are so good. WTF, there's so many as well. How did I miss you? I've listened to every horror audio drama on Spotify. Loving it. Thank you so much. And then they go on to say, will you guys post more? I think I did come across you before, but didn't like your old content. Well, oh well. I do now, though. We need more, please. Okay. And then, because I'm fair, if you leave a positive comment, I'll certainly read it. But if you leave a critical one, that's fine too. Same person on the play Wendigo says, the old man was so hard to understand. Unfortunately, what's with all the sighing and high and low intonations? Not nice on the ears with headphones. And then a frowny face. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back and listen to Wendigo for the first time in a long, long time. That's going back. That's going back, man. That's more than a decade old. But we're going to try harder. And you liked Roadkill, and that's probably a better representation of our current, what should we call it, our current level of technical expertise. This has been a long stretch of news, but for those of you on video, either Facebook video or, of course, there on the YouTube, going to switch over to a new camera angle. Here is Skycam 1, and summer has arrived, sort of. Well, no, it is. It's nice. I'm wearing a T-shirt, okay? Which I hadn't been doing for months and months and months. It's 71 degrees outside. There are blue skies. There are clouds in those blue skies. There are no leaves on the trees yet. Well, there's no big leaves on the trees yet, but they're coming. And I hear lawnmowers everywhere, which means you're going to hear my lawnmower tomorrow. Yeah, that's Skycam 1. So that is the news. The news. I can't. I need an engineer. Anyway, up next, I should say, on Live from the Icebox, we are moving on to the first of two radio drama plays, and this one goes way back. And when we come back after it, I think I will tell you some more, but I've already talked too much. I'll say that this was from February of 2007, and it was a play, very early recording. In fact, I'm going to say this is the first show first play we ever did where we recorded in studio and then edited it together. Because we started in 2004 and the first couple of years was all live shows. Buzz was a very special one to me. As I say, there's a whole bunch of information. I will come back with that after you listen. But for right now, let's go back to Bacchus Community Center, to Jessica Liggins and Steve Sinclair and Dave Irwin, and everyone in a mosquito-based mystery adventure story entitled Buzz. This is from the Icebox Radio Theater.
Mother!
Got him!
Mother, please!
Got him good!
Mother, for goodness sake, come inside!
Don't want to. Me and Mr. Zappy here, we're having a fine time.
Mother, it's sick. Sitting out here just to watch mosquitoes fly into that bug zapper?
Ooh, that was a moth.
It's not healthy, Mother.
Oh, you don't want me to have any fun. Now go on in and watch your program. Mother's busy.
I'm not watching a program, Mother. I'm surfing the internet.
Screen's a screen, that's what I say. Give me a good bug zap any day.
This is gonna come back to haunt you someday, Mother. You just watch.
Ha! 2 of them that time.
Oh, bless. Oh, Mother.
Ha! Sonny doesn't know what he's missing. Doesn't know. What's that? What? Strange. Don't think I've ever seen mosquitoes fly in a swarm like that before. Wonder what they're coming over here for. Hey, get off me, you little buggers. What are you doing? They're grabbing me somehow. They got me. They got me.
Mother! Where did she go to?
The Icebox Radio Theater presents Buzz. The Northland, Minnesota in summertime. A pristine lake laps gently at the shore while a lone figure, a girl of maybe 13, stands at water's edge, absently tossing rocks. From up the shore, a boy about her age approaches.
Hey, Chloe.
What?
Just hey.
What?
Hey. A friendly acknowledgement in arcane backwards dialect known as English.
Are you making fun of me, Rick?
Why would I do that?
You know why. Everyone knows why.
Chloe, are you honestly still worried about that? No one remembers.
Everyone remembers. You don't just trip and fall flat on your face walking into health class your very first day in a new school at a small town and ever live it down.
It was funny.
It was not funny.
It made a good impression. On the floor. You need to relax, Chloe.
You don't understand. First, Mom gets her stupid job and decides to move us to the stupid town at the end of the stupid world. Then she meets your stupid dad, no offense, and suddenly I'm stuck with not only a life I don't like, but a stupid brother to share it with.
You have a lot of anger, don't you, Chloe?
Oh! You don't understand!
I never claimed to. Why do you think that everyone in town is supposed to understand? Half the time you don't even know what you're talking about.
What?
You know what I mean.
No, what? Oh, what is that?
Where?
In the lake.
That's,
Ew!
that's a deer. It's dead.
I figured that much out by the way it was floating with its tongue hanging out.
We should bring it in.
Ugh, why?
It's not natural for a dead deer to be floating by. Maybe it was shot by a poacher.
So?
This isn't right.
Meanwhile, in a nondescript domestic sedan speeding across Wisconsin.
Agent Jones speaking. Clearance code, please.
What?
This is a restricted government communications channel reserved for communications between me and my superior.
This is your superior, you idiot. Jones, I keep telling you, I'm the only one that can call you on this phone.
Yes, that's just what I thought you'd say. Security code.
Fine. Wait a minute. Okay. The peacock ruined my best antenna.
Sorry, that was last week.
The pinecone falls mainly in Madrid.
Nope.
The spotted parrot molts on Tuesdays.
Chief, good to talk to you.
Jones, for the 50th time, this is a secure cell line.
Nothing's secure, Chief. That's why I'm in the security business.
No, Jones, nothing is secure because you're in the security business.
Why, thank you, Chief.
Are you at the installation?
Quarter mile to go. As always, your timing's impeccable.
This news had better be good. I lobbied hard for that project, and if it's not coming together like you said, I'm gonna really hit you.
Oh, no.
What? What oh no?
Chief, I think we hit a snag.
How big of a snag?
Oh, it's nothing insurmountable. In fact, I'm formulating a backup plan as we speak.
I'm tingling with relief. How big of a snag?
Well, we'll need a new facility for Operation Buzzier.
Why?
Because this one's on fire. And all the windows are broken. And it looks like the scientists ran away.
Oh no.
Well, maybe they're dead. It's hard to tell with all the blackened rubble lying around.
And you're telling me your cockeyed scheme for the new secret weapon escaped?
Possibly not. 2 or 3 windows of the building still appear to be intact.
Get back here now!
You want me to return to base?
Yes, you idiot!
What is the return to base code, Chief, if that's really who you are?
Ah!
Meanwhile, one day later, back in Minnesota,
It doesn't make sense.
Hey, Rick.
Hmm.
So, what geeky thing are we doing now?
I'm studying these reeds.
Sorry I asked.
I think something's wrong with the lake.
I know what's wrong with the lake. It's too far from civilization.
Do you think you can try to be serious? This could be the site of a major ecological disaster.
Really? You mean it didn't just drown?
It's not the drowning that worries me. It's the floating.
Why?
If it had drowned, its stomach and lungs would be full of water. No buoyancy. That deer died on dry land and was put in the lake.
So it was like a murder.
When someone kills a deer, it's not called murder. It's called hunting.
Maybe it was another deer.
Another deer?
Yeah.
Okay, so our deer squealed on the deer mafia and got whacked. Is that it?
What is that?
The deer mafia? It's a joke, Chloe. You can be so thick sometimes.
No. What is that? Don't you hear it?
Yeah. I don't see anything, though.
There, right across the lake.
It's not the lake. That's a bay.
I mean, there. That, right there.
You mean the cow?
Above the cow, flying.
Oh, there. I see it. Those are gnats.
Gnats don't make that much noise.
Mosquitoes, then?
Since when do mosquitoes fly in packs?
Swarms. Bugs is swarms. Wolves and dogs are packs.
Right. When you're done listing irrelevant facts, would you kindly answer my previous question?
What question?
What is that?
That's, That's a swarm of mosquitoes carrying away a cow.
Rick?
Yeah?
Do they do that?
No. I mean, yeah.
A flock of mosquitoes just carried away a cow.
Swarm.
Whatever. They carried away a cow. A cow's really heavy, Rick.
This situation's really heavy, Chloe. We have to tell somebody.
You have to tell somebody. I'm going home to lay down and hopefully wake up when I'm 25 and living in another state.
I'm serious. We have to tell someone.
I know.
Can I help you, kids?
You tell her.
No, you tell her.
No, you tell her.
Kids, I'm really busy here. Oh, hang on a second. City Police Department, can I help you?
This is crazy. We cannot just tell the police that we saw bugs abduct a cow.
Well, we have to tell somebody, and you already chickened out at the park ranger's office.
But this is crazy.
It's what we saw. Why are you so flaky about this?
Look, you're Mr. Brainiac at school. I don't have a reputation as yet, and I'd rather not become the Brainiac's crazy stepsister who sees things.
It's all social life with you, isn't it?
Okay, kids. Now, I'm very busy, so what can I do for you?
Excuse me.
Uh-oh. Hang on a second, kids. Mr. Baumgartner?
I've been waiting for 2 days now.
I know, sir.
Some kind of word. Something.
Sir, we've had search and rescue out. We've looked all over the part of the lake you live on.
It's not enough. Mother's been gone for 2 days.
Well, has it ever occurred to you that, she took off on her own?
She is practically blind, and her license expired in 1978. She did not take off. She was taken.
Now, Mr. Baumgartner.
She was kidnapped or abducted or something like that. And I want you to find out what now. I just want my mommy.
Kids? Could you wait outside?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
You lousy police department.
That's Mr. Baumgartner.
I heard.
He lives on the lake just down from where we saw the cow.
You're not thinking his mom got.
They could carry away a cow, Chloe. A person would be a lot easier. There he is. Mr. Baumgartner?
What? Oh, it's you, Rick.
We're sorry about your mom.
Oh, thank you. Stupid police. They're not doing anything. Just like the sheriffs, the park people.
Sir, I don't mean to pry, but...
Just vanished. Mother's just gone. 1 minute she was sitting on the porch enjoying her bug zapper. The next minute, poof.
Her bug zapper?
Yes, it's her favorite pastime during the summer. Watching mosquitoes fly into the zapper. She used to call it sending them off to the chair. Isn't that kind of cute?
Yeah. Sir, I don't mean to sound, I don't know, weird or something, but do you think the bugs could have, done something with your mom?
Like what?
I don't know. Carried her off?
Well, that's just great. First, Mother disappears, and now the local teeny boppers are making a joke out of it.
No, I didn't mean anything like that.
Bugs
No,
flying away with mother? Very funny. What's the matter? Dead baby jokes not tasteless enough for you?
Sir, I really didn't mean anything by it. I was just...
Just leave me alone, you little punk! Leave me alone!
Way to go, Chloe.
I had to ask.
You won't go to the Rangers, you get us kicked out of the police station, and now you insult the neighbors. I don't see how this can get any worse.
Stop right there, both of you.
You scared me.
Were you hiding in the bushes?
That information is classified.
Classified?
I'm Jones, Agent Jones of the United States government. You're both coming with me.
The Icebox Radio Theater will be back right after this. As we rejoin our story, Chloe, Rick, and the mysterious Agent Jones are in a car, heading out Highway 11 towards Rainy Lake.
No, you have it wrong, Carol.
Chloe.
Carla, this isn't kidnapping. I'm working for your safety.
You keep saying that, but you're not making any sense.
If I made sense, children, it would be a serious threat to national security.
So, this is something to do with the government.
What's something to do with the government?
The mosquitoes that pick up cows and fly away with them?
Oh, that's impossible.
We saw them do it.
Really? Living in the wild must have improved their weight limit.
What?
Nothing. I've changed my mind, children. I don't need to ask you any more questions. I'll just take you home. But first, perhaps you could tell me where you saw this flying cow.
It was right over there.
Out! Everybody, out!
Here? We're not home yet.
Pressing needs. Have to return to Washington. Come on! And incidentally, we've never had this conversation. We never spoke. I, in particular, didn't say anything. Affirmative?
Huh?
Excellent. You're doing your country a favor, children. Like the little Dutch boy, your finger in the dike of silence, stopping up the diverted culvert of fear from flooding the tulip fields of security. Farewell.
See, this is so unfair.
What?
I'm too young to have a license, but people like that drive around free.
Well, if we're lucky, that's the last we'll see of him.
For some reason, I don't feel very lucky.
Me neither. Come on.
The next day, along the shore...
Okay, so what are we looking for again?
Any sign of the mosquitoes, floating deer, empty boats, anything. We've got to find a way to prove these things exist. I wish Dad hadn't repaired the video camera.
Why?
Because if he hadn't, we'd have a working video camera.
Oh, you're kidding.
You don't believe it.
Ahoy, mateys, how fare ye?
Hello, Agent Jones.
My name's not Agent Jones. I be Colin McGilvery McTavish, a fisherman lived in these waters nigh on 30 years now.
That's gotta be the worst accent I have ever heard.
Are you trying to go undercover, Agent Jones?
Shh! I am undercover, Ryan. I'm posing as a Canadian fisherman.
Well, that explains the toque, the yellow rain gear, and the hockey jersey.
But the canoe's all wrong.
Why?
Well, it says Rainy Lake Rentals on the side, and generally, you don't use oars with a canoe.
Right. Get rid of the oars.
But you should keep one for a paddle.
Right, a paddle. Listen, kids, your country needs you.
You mean Canada?
No, I work for the American government.
That's good news for Canada.
I'm supposed to be doing reconnaissance on this lake, and it's not going well.
Really?
I could use your help.
Doing what?
I can't tell you that.
Then how do we know how to help you?
I need your eyes and your ears.
Because you're looking for something?
Right.
But if you don't tell us what we're looking for, how do we know what to look for?
It doesn't matter because we already know.
We do?
You do?
Sure. You're looking for the mosquitoes. Swarms of killer mosquitoes that appear to be intelligent enough to hunt in groups. What I'd really like to know is where they came from.
I can't tell you that.
And then have fun with your row canoe, Lafitte, and watch out for the reefs.
Okay. You made your point. I can't tell you everything, but...
Yes?
Get in the canoe.
Would we have to paddle?
No, I have an outboard motor right here.
Sir? That's a weed eater.
I think I'm beginning to understand why the clerk in the store was so happy to see me.
All right, Agent Jones, we got in the canoe.
Yeah, and the field where we saw the cow is right over there. So quit stalling and tell us where they came from.
I can't do that, but I can tell you what they are.
An ecological mistake?
An experiment gone wrong?
Neither. These are genetically engineered insects infused with certain DNA from pack hunters.
Pack hunters, like wolves?
Coyotes specifically. Wolf DNA didn't work as well.
So what are they for?
Covert military. These bugs were to disorient the enemy camp, steal livestock, tie up their resources, that sort of thing. It's almost impossible to completely destroy a mosquito population, so once we plant them in an area, that would make it virtually uninhabitable.
But if they're that destructive, they can wreck the lake.
Which is all the more reason to catch them.
You're going to catch a mosquito swarm?
No, we just need to locate them. The military will come in and do the rest.
Wait.
What is it?
I heard two. It's over there.
Man the paddle, kids. We've got to get over there.
No, we don't.
Why?
Because the swarm's coming right at us.
Okay, that's good.
They're getting lower.
Good, we can observe.
They're getting really low.
They're picking us up.
This is amazing. Look at them working together like a big team.
A big team that's carrying us away.
Don't worry, we're perfectly safe. See? No mosquito bites.
They don't bite?
Well, not until they get us back to their den and start feeding. Then... Oh, yeah.
Ah, we gotta get out of here. We have to do something.
Chloe, take it easy. You'll make them drop the canoe.
That's what I'm trying to do.
We're 50 feet in the air.
Better go down drowning than to become lunch for bugs. Let me go.
Carla, please.
Let me go. Let me go.
Ow, that hurts my ears. Chloe, Chloe.
Are you kids okay?
What happened? I mean, they just dropped us.
Yeah, from 50 feet straight up. We're lucky we didn't land on the rocks and get killed.
Hang on, Rick. I think we should be thanking your sister.
Stepsister.
Whatever. You, Carla, have just saved our lives, and it's clear now the situation calls for my all-purpose contingency plan.
What is it?
I can't tell you that, but rest assured, the plan was thought up by the greatest minds we have. I'll need a cow, some oats, and a case of vodka.
Ugh, should we ask?
No.
A day later, Chloe and Rick found themselves on a large island in the middle of Rainy Lake. As a seaplane circled overhead, the kids prepared part of Agent Jones's elaborate plan on a grassy meadow below.
I can't believe we're doing this.
Taking care of a cow?
No, getting a cow drunk.
Well, this is the plan.
Yeah, Agent Jones' plan, which is the thing that worries me.
High in the sky to ground beef. High in the sky to ground beef. Come in, ground beef.
Agent Jones, this is us. What do you want?
Is the test subject receptive to special cereal we made for her?
If you mean, does the cow like booze? Yeah, she likes it.
Excellent. No sign of the swarm yet, but once they get a snootful of that cow, it ought to be like ringing the dinner bell.
Why do we need to get her drunk?
You'll see.
That cow's not in any danger, is she? I mean, it doesn't seem fair that we should just put her at risk like this.
Don't worry, Clara. Posey here will wake up tomorrow with a bit of a hangover, but we won't let those bloodsuckers get too far with her. Now, you kids, tie up that cow and meet me on the north side of the island. We'll bring the float plane down and pick you up.
Okay.
Here, binoculars for both of you.
Thanks.
We have to keep a sharp lookout for the swarm.
How do you know they'll actually find the cow?
Well, as we've been flying around the area, I've been periodically throwing hamburger out of the plane, putting a scent of blood in the wind, as it were.
Ew.
Yeah, doesn't that make a mess?
Of course not. I covered them in shrink wrap.
Can mosquitoes smell through the shrink wrap?
Well, of course they can't. Oh,
Never mind. I think I see them.
where?
Coming in from the north.
Yeah, I see them too.
They're headed right for the island. We'll circle in around and make sure they find the cow. This is perfect, Captain.
I think they smell her.
Yeah, they're headed right down to the island.
Careful, careful. Yes, they have her.
She doesn't look too happy, guys.
Don't worry, we'll take perfect care of that cow. Keep your distance, Captain, but don't lose them. They seem to be heading southeast.
That makes sense. It's along the shoreline, and it's more remote.
Wait a minute. They're heading down.
They are? Where?
Right there, near that forested patch with all the rocks and stuff.
Set the plane down, Captain. I think we found their lair.
You promise she's not going to be hurt?
If we can get to her in time.
What are we looking for anyway?
A cave. Maybe a swamp. It's tough to say what these bugs will find, homie.
It's Bossy!
This way!
We're coming, girl!
There she is!
Oh, she's covered with bites! Poor girl.
I don't see the swarm anywhere.
What happens now?
If my calculations are correct, the mosquitoes have sucked enough of this boozy bovine's plasma to be pretty lethargic themselves. At my command, the National Guard will fly overhead with nearly a square mile of mosquito netting. All we have to do is find the swarm, tell the guard where to drop the net, and we're done.
They're over there. I can hear them.
You're right. Let me put the coordinates into my GPS unit.
The bugs don't sound very lethargic.
Yeah, they sound a little mean.
Oh dear, I hadn't thought of that.
What now?
Well, alcohol affects different people in different ways. I think our swarm is a bunch of mean drunks.
Run! Ah! They're all over and they're furious!
What do we do?
Have to get to the water!
There's no time. Quick, Chloe, scream.
What?
Scream, it's the only thing that'll drive them away.
It may be our only chance. Louder! It's no good, they're just getting angrier.
Hey, they got me.
Oh no, Rick!
Help, it's,
Rick!
Quick, almost to the lake, the plane!
But they've got my brother!
I know, come on!
Can you see them?
Yes, there. They have your brother and they're carrying him north.
Isn't that away from their island?
The alcohol must have disoriented them. They don't know where they're flying.
What can we do?
Well, we've already made contact with the Canadian authorities. They said they'd be ready for the mosquitoes.
But if they kill the bugs, they'll drop Rick.
I don't think they mean to kill them. They said they had a secret weapon of some kind. There, down there.
Those two men?
Yes, that island's on the Canadian side. What are they doing?
Those are loudspeakers. What the...
Look, the bugs!
Rick, where's Rick?
He's down there. Did the bugs let go of him?
It was more like they dove straight into the lake. Is he all right?
I think, yes, there. I can see Rick swimming.
Oh, he's okay.
Land, Captain. We have a very brave boy to pick up and some Canadian comrades to thank.
More hot chocolate, Rick?
I'm fine. I just really itch.
So, what happened at the end? We couldn't tell from the plane.
Well, I don't know. The mosquitoes had me, then they just dove straight into the lake. What will make them do that?
Light on that there, eh?
Gentlemen, I'm glad you came over.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, I'm Park Ranger Bob, and this is my partner Doug.
How's it going, eh?
Oh, we wanted to make sure your little guy come out of the drink there okay.
I'm fine, thanks.
Oh, that's good. Boy, you Americans, you come up with some crazy ideas, but this one's a doozy.
Intelligent mosquitoes?
Well, we didn't mean for them to be quite this intelligent. And we've got to know, how did you stop them?
That was all you, eh?
Yeah. When you told us the girls screaming drove the bugs away and that you theorized they were sensitive to high-pitched noises.
Like 75 millihertz, eh?
Probably a side effect of using the canine DNA.
Right, we knew just what to do.
That's Celine Dion.
Canada's secret weapon, eh? More powerful than the bomb.
Shut up, eh? They're Americans. They'll come at us with something worse next time.
Take off, eh? You're always telling me what to do.
Well, if you weren't so stupid all the time.
Well, if it weren't so stupid, if brains were donuts, you'd have the last Timbit in the box. If you know what I mean.
If brains were donuts, I'd be packing a crawler.
So if my scream scared them, Celine Dion must have driven the mosquitoes into a suicidal rage.
I'm sorry about your bugs, Agent Jones.
That's all right, Ron. I'm just glad you're okay. And through this all, I've learned a very important lesson.
What's that?
Nature always provides. When I created a hybrid insect capable of great damage and loss of life, nature provided Celine Dion to combat them. It's beautiful in its own way.
Agent Jones, can we just go home now?
Oh, sure. Let me unlock the canoe.
Did that salesman sell you a canoe security system along with that other stuff?
Well, yes. Why?
Never mind.
The Icebox Radio Theater will be back right after this.
Dude, where were you?
Where was I? What?
It's Saturday. It's 6:30.
Oh no, I'm such an idiot. I meant to listen to the Icebox Radio Theater, but I forgot again.
Dude, calm down. You may have beefed on the show, but guess what? I'm like checking out the Icebox blog at iceboxradio.org. You won't believe it.
What?
There's a podcast now. If you miss an episode on the radio, just go to iceboxradio.org. In a couple of days, that episode will be there. Listen on your computer, on your iPod, whatever.
The Icebox Radio Podcast at iceboxradio.org.
I'll never miss another episode again.
Also available in iTunes. You have been listening to Buzz by Jeffrey Adams, a production of the Icebox Radio Theater. Your players this evening were Michael White as Sonny, Marge Rostad as Mom, Dave Irwin portrayed the Chief, Tanya White played the police officer, Jeffrey Adams was Ranger Bob, David Irwin was Ranger Doug, Steve Sinclair portrayed Agent Jones, Varian Irwin was Rick, and Jessica Liggins played Chloe. Direction and sound design by Jeffrey Adams. For more information on the Icebox Radio Theater, visit our website at www.
Sorry, I had to listen to the credits all the way through for that episode of the Icebox Radio Theater because, as I mentioned, that was Buzz from 2007, and there were honest-to-goodness people in the show I didn't remember. There's a lot about the show I didn't remember. Excuse me. I'm all choked up. Jessica Liggins, Steve Sinclair. I believe Steve Sinclair still lives in the area in Fort Francis, Ontario. I'm not sure about that. However, Jessica, I know, was about my daughter Rachel's age, and she grew up, I believe she's living in Thunder Bay now or nearby the environs. And wait a minute, that's not right. I forget. She's around somewhere. and the Whites, Michael and Tanya, they were actually, that was the only show they were ever in for the Icebox Radio Theater because they were both workers at our local border patrol. They worked in TSA, and a lot of families come and kind of rotate through because we are, of course, a border station here in International Falls. And they did a very nice job. Everyone did a very nice job. Now, Buzz was, that was not the first production of this show. The first production ever was actually a live show that we did in 2006, on the 4th of July at the Bandshell stage. And that one, to my knowledge, there is no recording that exists of that show. It was unique in that we actually invited a bunch of kids up on stage with us. I had bought a gross of kazoos from Oriental Trading Company and gave them, they played the Mosquitoes basically. But this version that you just heard, that was performed and recorded in Bacchus Auditorium. Now see if I can get this straight so that it makes sense. We, of course, had a studio there for about 8 years, from about 2010 to 2018. And this Buzz was recorded in that same room, but not during that time period. It was being used for something else. I think it was a rehearsal space for a band that was renting it at the time. And we asked their permission and Bacchus's permission, can we take a Saturday afternoon and record this show that we have? Because, as I say, I didn't have a recording of Buzz, and Buzz was like one of the very first stories that I ever came up with for the Icebox Radio Theater. And I also wanted to try my hand at studio recording, where you record all the parts in a studio and then sort of edit them together. And everyone agreed, but I remember there was like a dirty carpet on the floor, and there was tarps hanging from the walls to kind of keep the echoes down, which is pretty much exactly the same setup we did about 2 or 3 years later when we rented that room. We fixed it up nice. You can see pictures on Facebook. But it was, I think, a very, very very important, a very, very important show in the history of the IBRT. It was a nice evening, and I think the results are pretty good. Sillier than I thought, but it does keep us right in line with our theme for the day, which is, of course, bugs. So how are we going to keep that going in the old-time radio section? Well, I will let you know what that is, or how we're going to keep this going in just a little bit. But first of all, it's music time. Featuring Slewgrass these days, some of their new tunes by Judith Nelson. Here is Cooch-Ching Clay.
Until then, jog down an old dirt road where the dish grate's deep and wide. Hit the gas and you pop the clutch, trying to jump into the other side. Soon you're off-road four-wheel 911. You got no ways to play, 'cause you're stuck in the muck, in the mire, and the suck of the coocher chain clay. The coocher chain clay. Coocher chain clay. Rain turns a riverbank muddy and greasy. Your boots just slip and slide till you fall straight in the cold, murky water where the logs and the big rocks hide. That old river sturgeon's like that old river bottom. It's wet and slick and gray. The fish is stuck in the muck, in the mire, and the suck of the coocher chain clay. Coocher chain clay. Coocher chain clay. If you wind up dead and they bury you deep in the depths of the cold, cold ground, they'll break their shovels and they'll break the backs, throwing claws on the graveside mound. You never get to heaven, never go to hell. Your soul is there to stay. It's stuck in the muck, in the mire, and the suck of the coocher chain clay. Coocher chain clay. Coocher chain clay. From the settler's dream through the years between, so clay is a part of me. It's stuck to my boots and it's stuck to my roots, and it never will rinse free. If you ever move north, try to build your life, that dirt's gonna make you pay. You'll be stuck in the muck, in the mire, and the suck of the coocher chain clay. Coocher chain clay. Coocher chain clay. Coocher chain clay. Coocher chain clay.
Judith Nelson and Slewgrass there with an original tune by her that was Cooching Clay. We're going to be back with the old time radio contribution to this broadcast right after this. The Sports Shop at the corner of 3rd Street and 4th Avenue downtown in the Falls is your location for hockey, bicycling, pickleball, and more. Need a new bike this summer? Oh, the friendly staff at the Sports Shop will help you find the perfect size and type for you. Check out their selection of e-bikes to get around town in style. Summer hockey is just around the corner, so come on in and make sure everything fits just right on the ice this season. And the Sports Shop has all the gear to help you get outside. They have pickleball equipment, baseball and softball equipment, and a wide selection of clothing and apparel. So come on down to the Sports Shop, an I Falls institution at the corner of 3rd Street and 4th Avenue downtown. Check out their Facebook page for specials and area events. Come out and play at the Sports Shop. And we've used that commercial so long it actually came around to almost the right time of year. It is about time for summer hockey in a few weeks or so. But the Sports Shop is still there, and in fact, a board member of the Icebox Radio Theater is a part of the owning family. So if you're hearing this at 106.9 and you need a bike or hockey equipment, it is the place to go. Okay, well, we had our mosquito bugs from the Icebox Radio Theater, and next we are going to have ants from old time radio. Now, if you ask a casual old-time radio fan to name a handful of plays, they'll probably come up with Lights Out and The Shadow and maybe Fibber, McGee, and Molly. And it's very and the War of the Worlds, of course. But it's also very likely you give them a couple chances, they will come up with the next offering on this show. Leiningen versus the Ants was a story by Carl Stevenson, originally published in Esquire magazine in 1938. I should say the English version in 1938. It was originally published in Germany in 1937. Interesting that we're still having business at that time in history as Leiningen's Kampf mit dem Einsen. 1937, that was the deal. So this is a story. I don't want to tell you too much about it in case you don't know, but it is famous among old-time radio aficionados for just about the perfect escape episode. Escape was a show which featured high adventure. We played a couple escape episodes here before, and I don't know any more perfect story than Leiningen versus the Ants. Leiningen is the owner of a plantation in the Brazilian rainforest, and he's warned by the district commissioner that a swarm of ferocious and organized soldier ants is approaching and that he must flee. And he says, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to fight these ants. Now, the version we're about to hear is actually the second version, the reprise that Escape put together from May 23rd, 1948. Oh, it's almost exactly, this is almost its anniversary. William Conrad stars. William Conrad, for 70s TV fans, is probably most memorable as Cannon when he was somewhat rotund. But for radio fans, he was slim and sexy. That was William Conrad. He had a wonderful voice. Starred, of course, as Marshal Matt Dillon on Gunsmoke, and this is, I think, one of his best standalone. He did a lot of radio. He did suspense, all kinds of shows. The story Leiningen versus the Ants was adapted in 1954 to a film called The Naked Jungle, starring Charlton Heston. So you can check that out. Wouldn't surprise me if it is on Tubi or Pluto TV. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it's Bugs on Live from the Icebox. Let's find out what's happening as we escape.
You are isolated on a remote plantation in the crawling Amazon jungle, and an immense army of ravenous ants is closing in on you, swarming in to eat you alive. A deadly black army from which there is no escape.
Escape, produced and directed by William N. Robeson, and carefully contrived to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight we escape to the Amazon jungle and to a creeping, crawling terror, as Carl Stevenson told it in his gripping story, Leiningen versus the Ants.
I first met Leiningen while performing my duty as district commissioner. As my boat neared his plantation landing, I saw him upon the riverbank, regarding me with mild interest. A great hulk of a man with bristling gray hair, bulky nose, and pale eyes. His entire appearance somehow suggested an aging and shabby eagle. He escorted me to the terrace and had a drink brought. I came quickly to the point of my visit and issued my warning. Leiningen puffed placidly at a huge cigar and listened as I told him, unless they alter their course, and there's no reason why they should, they'll reach your plantation in 2 days at the latest.
Uh-huh. Well, it was decent of you paddling all this way just to give me the tip.
Tip?
Commissioner, even a herd of crocodiles couldn't drive me from this plantation of mine.
But these aren't creatures you can fight. They're an elemental force, a gigantic catastrophe. 10 miles long, 2 miles wide. Ants, nothing but ants. And each one as big as your thumb. And each of them a fiend from hell. Unless you clear out at once, there'll be nothing left of you but a skeleton picked as clean as your own plantation will be.
I'm not getting out.
But you can't fight.
Yes, I can. I've got the best weapon there is, Commissioner. Intelligence.
But can't I make you understand the hideous...
I think it is you who do not understand. In the 3 years I've been here, I've met and defeated more than one catastrophe. Flood, drought, the plague. Events which caused many of my neighbors to flee for their lives. No, Commissioner, all my life I have lived with one creed. The human brain needs only to become fully aware of its powers to conquer even the elements.
Leiningen, your obstinacy is endangering not only your own life, but the lives of your workers and their families. You don't know these ants. I tell you, you don't know these ants. But Leiningen merely sat there, puffing at his cigar and regarding me with a smug grin, and I knew it was hopeless. As I boarded my lunch and cast off, I realized I'd never met a man like that. And I could not help wondering
about the strange look in the commissioner's eyes as he boarded his launch and cast off. Undoubtedly, he thought me insane. Well, he would not have been the first to think so. But I, Leiningen, knew my own powers. I was sure of myself. I knew that intelligence, directed aright, always makes man the master of his fate. That night, I called my Indian workers together in front of the plantation house. I saw their faces go ashen with terror as I told them that the ants were coming. Watched them as they milled around, muttering. I said nothing more to them. Finally, one of the men stepped forward. Blas, the foreman.
Patron, we have worked hard here for these 3 years. All of us. We have built the finest plantation in this district. We all share in it. It has been a home for all of us and our families. Now the ants come.
So?
Those ditches we dug last year, the pipe we put in the ground, that was for the ants?
Yes, that was for the ants.
If we moved our families across the river, the ants could not reach them?
Yes, that's right. And you?
The ants are mighty. We know what they can do. All of us think that you are mighty. Patron, we will stay with you and fight against the ants.
I knew that the men would give me that answer. I counted on it. I thought of the commissioner and wondered what he would say at such unquestioning confidence. Would he still think I was insane? Or had he dismissed me?
Out of my mind. One man who calmly evaluated his chances against a deadly menace, coolly decided he could win and was willing to stake his life on it, to risk a horrible death for it. It was terrifying. And yet it was fascinating. The next morning I sent for my assistant. Together we went to the huge map of the district which hung from a wall of my office and checked the last reported position of the ants.
Last night they had reached here, about 70 miles above this fork in the river.
Traveling southeast?
Yes.
Directly toward Leiningen.
Toward whom, sir?
That plantation at the bend in the river belongs to a man named Leiningen. When would you say the ants will reach there?
Oh, I don't know. I mentioned about tomorrow noon.
Tomorrow noon, still time.
Still time? What do you mean, sir?
Why, nothing. But what did I mean? Still time for what? For Leiningen to flee, or still time for me to... Even as I rejected the thought with horror, I knew that the fascination of that man was more than I could resist. That Leiningen's fight was drawing me back toward that plantation and death. I knew now past all doubt that I was going back. I had to. It was 10 o'clock in the morning when I rounded the bend and saw Leiningen's plantation before me. I put in at the dock and tied up the launch. Then I saw him standing on the bank above me, arms folded, stubby cigar in his mouth, and that same smug grin on his face. I made my way up to him.
Back with another warning, Commissioner?
No.
Back to stay a while?
Yes. You don't seem surprised.
No, I'm not.
You expected me?
I thought you'd be back. Yeah, come along. We'll get some horses. You'll want to ride around the plantation, take a look at the defenses I've rigged up.
Yes, I'll want to see the defense.
And the ants. We'll be getting a glimpse of them before long, I should think.
Yes, the ants. The defenses Leiningen had devised were quite impressive. Surrounding three sides of the plantation like a huge horseshoe was a ditch 12 feet wide. The ends of this horseshoe-shaped ditch ran into the river which formed the fourth side of the plantation. And at the upriver entrance to the ditch, Leiningen had constructed a dam by which the river water could be diverted into the ditch. A large hand wheel controlled the floodgate of the dam, and apparently Leiningen had ordered it opened immediately after my arrival. For as we now approached the ditch and rode along it, I could see that it was nearly full.
How do you like my first line of defense, Commissioner?
It's reassuring, like a moat around a castle.
Unless the ants know how to build rafts, they won't reach the plantation. But this is only the outer moat. There's a better one than this. Now, come along. We'll go up to the high ground where the buildings are. I can get a view from there.
Leiningen.
Huh?
I didn't see any women or children around the plantation or any animals.
Yes, that's right. Moved them across the river.
And even you think there is danger.
Not because of danger, Commissioner. Matter of efficiency.
Efficiency?
Yes, cuts down on the efficiency of the men if they're worried about their families. Critical situations only become crises when oxen and women get excited.
I see.
Here we are. See the ditch?
It's much smaller than the others.
Yes, you've noticed how all the buildings are on this piece of high ground. The inner ditch surrounds them, and it's lined with concrete.
But even filled with water, this is no barrier. It's not big enough. Why, if the ants get this far,
they'll get no farther. This ditch wasn't built for water, Commissioner. You see the pipes leading into it? See those storage tanks on the hill? Petrol. We can throw up a wall of flame. Care to bet they won't like that?
I hope you're right. Leiningen, look. Over at the edge of the jungle, all those animals.
Yes. Running like the wind. Everything from jaguars to monkeys.
Good heavens.
Remember, they don't have any ditches.
But can they escape?
Now, they'll be all right as long as they don't get caught between the river and the ants. They can outrun the crawlers. But if they get trapped, it's either the ants or the crocodiles. Look. Up there over the horizon. There are your ants. Look at them.
It was a sight I will never forget. Over the range of hills, as far as I could see, crept a darkening hem, ever longer and broader until the shadows spread across the entire slope, then downward, uncannily swift, and all the green herbage on the entire slope was being mowed as by a giant sickle, leaving only the vast moving shadow extending and deepening, and all was moving nearer.
They're a hideous lot.
Leiningen, we can't last against that. Look at them. Why, they will fill your ditches with their corpses and still have enough to destroy every one of us. We've got to run.
Well, no, they haven't gotten to us yet, and they never will.
The hostile army was approaching in perfect formation. No human battalions, however well drilled, could ever hope to rival the precision of that advance. Along a front that moved forward as uniformly as a straight line, the ants drew nearer and nearer to the water ditch. As they approached, two outlying wings of the army detached themselves from the main body and started marching along the sides of the ditch, no doubt expecting at some point to find a crossing. And during this hour-long flanking movement, the main army remained still. Across the scant 12 feet of ditch, I stared at them, and they stared back at me. Solid mass, every one as big as my thumb, with reddish-black body and long legs. Suddenly, a sound so unearthly as to freeze our blood jerked our heads in the direction of the jungle on the far side of the ditch. Coming toward the ditch at a stumbling gallop was a singular being, a writhing, animal-like blackened statue with a shapeless head and 4 quivering feet. It was a stag, covered over and over with ants. Leiningen threw up his rifle, and the stag fell lifeless to the ground, its agonies at an end. Horrified as I was, my curiosity impelled me to glance at my watch. I had to know how long the ants would take. After 6 long minutes, only the white polished bones of the stag remained. Now I could see a change in Leiningen. Gone was the sporting zest of the novel contest. In its place was a cold, violent purpose. He had to beat the ants because he now knew how long it would take them once they got to us. Around 4 in the afternoon, the ant scouts, having found no crossing, there was a stirring among the main army. And then an immense flood of ants about 100 yards in width commenced pouring in a glimmering black cataract down the flower slope of the ditch. Thousands drowned instantly, but the rest began using the bodies as bridges. Leiningen immediately swung into action.
Press the dam, open the floodgate a little more. We've got to get the water in the ditch moving faster.
Si, senor.
Look at them drowned in the floods.
But they keep coming. Even though the current carries many of them away, they're advancing.
Well, we'll fix them. What?
Yes, senor.
How about those shovels and petrol sprinklers? You passed them out to the men?
I say it has been done.
Then get all hands here in a hurry. This looks like a spot for action.
Hey.
Commissioner.
Yes?
Beginning to see what I was talking about?
What do you mean?
About intelligence being more than a match for anything it tackles. Take the ants. They've got no intelligence. If they had, they'd have attacked along the whole length of the ditch instead of a narrow front like this. They'd have been across by now. No. Too bad I'm not running their campaign for them.
You can joke about it like that with ants halfway across the
All
ditch?
right, men. Busy with the shovels now. Dump some sand and clods on them. See how they like that. You with the petrol sprinklers. Stop puffing. Aha! They don't like it, Commissioner. They don't like it a bit. Look at them.
Yes, but look at the ones on the far side of the ditch. Whole clumps of them rolling into the water. The rest are using them for bridges.
Smarter than I thought. And they're widening their front, too.
Some of them are getting across.
Grab a shovel, then, Commissioner. Make them regret it. What's the matter?
Spit on my eyes!
Enter the petrol, idiot. Douse your hands in the petrol. Don't stop now, the rest of you. Club them! Club them!
We cannot hold it back, senor. We must run.
Keep at it. Don't stop now. Aha! The water's moving faster.
And now got the floodgates open.
Yes, they can't hold their own against the current now. Look at them, Commissioner. The water's carrying them away. We've beat them. We've won out. It
was true. Leiningen had won. At least the opening round. The floodgates were left open to forestall any night crossing. But when dawn came, the dark blanket was still there, motionless across the ditch. Then we noticed a feverish activity on the other side of the plantation. Here, a grove of tamarind trees lined the far end of the ditch, and every tree swarmed with the crawling insects. But instead of eating the leaves, they were merely gnawing through the stems so that a thick green shower fell steadily to the ground. Well, it looks as if it's feeding time for our friends, eh?
Boss.
Senor.
Have all the petrol pumps brought here. Get everyone over here except the lookouts on the other side. Then pass out the shovels.
Si, senor.
Going to deprive them of a meal?
A meal?
Aren't they cutting down the leaves for food?
No. I wish they were. Looks like I underestimated them when I said they didn't have intelligence.
What do you mean?
I said if they wanted to get across, they'd have to have rafts. And that's just what they've got. Those leaves are their rafts.
Even as he spoke, the leaves went tumbling down the far bank by the thousands. The current drew them away from the bank, and each leaf carried several ants.
Don't worry, as long as you can keep spraying them and shoveling dirt on their rafts, they can't land.
But there will be too many.
It's true. Look, more leaves in the ditch all the time. Why, they'll have a solid carpet to walk across in a minute.
Not so fast, Commissioner. I've still got a trick up my sleeve for them.
The water!
The ditch is drying up.
Yes, of course it's drying up. That's the plan. Those are the orders I sent to the dam.
Are you mad? As soon as it's empty, what's to prevent the... Look, the water's way down. It's almost dry. They'll be able to come across the bottom.
They'll not make it. The man at the dam will have opened the gates by now.
To flood the ants?
Right.
But what a chance to take. If anything should happen...
Here it comes. Here comes the water. Yes, we'll give the crawlers a ditch to ride in. Right out to the river. There. Look at them go.
Leiningen's tactics were successful at first. The violent flow of water at the original depth raced through the ditch, overwhelming leaves and ants and sweeping them along. 3 times the ditch was emptied. 3 times the ants raced across its bottom, and 3 times the rushing water, arriving just in time, carried them away. But the 4th time, as the water lowered nearly to the bottom of the ditch, we waited in vain for the rushing waters, and then...
What's the matter? What's gone wrong at the dam?
Yes. Just as the man at the dam lowered the water almost to the bottom, the ants attacked. Before he could open the floodgates, he was almost surrounded. He ran. The ants kept coming. They are across the ditch.
Leiningen stood motionless, absorbing the news of his defeat without a word. Then he raised his pistol and fired 3 shots into the air. The prearranged signal for all the men to retreat instantly to the second line of defense, the concrete ditches more than a mile from the point of the invasion. Soon after we arrived there, the natives commenced straggling in silently. Leiningen waited until all of them had gathered. Then he spoke to them.
Well, lads, we won the first round and lost the second, but we'll smash the crawlers yet. Anyone who thinks otherwise can draw his pay and push off. There are rafts enough on the river and plenty of time still to reach them. You'll stay then. Good. Thank you, lads. And you, Commissioner?
I can't persuade you to give up the fight?
You cannot.
Then I stay, too.
Yeah. I knew you would.
Senor. You are the ants have reached the ditch.
They're trying to get across?
No, senor.
I didn't think they would. There's plenty of food out there for them. My fields and orchards, the work of 3 years. Ought to last them until morning, anyway.
Yes, we were safe for that night. But the next morning, the black swarm was solid around us, and their shock troops were hard at work. They were dropping shreds of bark and twigs and leaves into the petrol-filled ditches, forming a floating bridge across the surface of the liquid. Leiningen stood silently watching this operation, and I could see a grudging admiration in his face. Then, after several hours, the attack came. Down the ditch they poured, millions of them, and across the bridge of twigs, rapidly approaching the inner side. Leiningen sat motionless, watching them. Leiningen, for the love of God, don't sit there like a statue. They'll be on us in a moment.
Let them fill the ditch first. Now. All right? Everyone back? Blas! Hand me the torch. Now we'll see how our friends like a little heat.
Flames from the ditch shot into the air, devouring ants by the millions. It was some time before the petrol burned down to the bed of the ditch, but when it did, the devils came back for more. Again, Leiningen fired the ditch to destroy them. And still again they came on, but at each successive firing, the task of the ants grew easier because of the film of ash which now covered the petrol. And as they returned to the assault time after time, a slow, sickening horror crept into my mind. I looked quickly at Leiningen, then at the petrol tanks. He read my gaze and nodded slowly.
That's right, Commissioner. We could hold them off forever if our supply of petrol was unlimited. But it isn't. We've got enough to fill the ditch once more.
Leiningen, isn't there any way at all? We've got to do something.
I know. There must be a way. There must be. Yes.
What is it?
We'll flood the whole plantation.
Flood? But how?
The river's higher than any point except this high ground we're on now. If the river was dammed all the way, it'd overflow that stone breakwater and flood the whole plantation. We've got to close the floodgate at the dam. That'll do it.
You're mad. The dam is more than a mile away, more than a mile away.
Lads, listen to me. Listen, lads. I'm proud of you. Now, there's still a chance. By shutting the floodgates on the dam and flooding the whole plantation from the river. The moment I'm over the ditch, set fire to it. That'll allow time for the flood to wash away the ants. Then all you'll have to do is wait for me.
It's impossible. You can't get to the dam, let alone back.
That's why you're wrong, Commissioner. I'll get there, and I'll get back. Take care of things while I'm gone, huh?
I watched him as he calmly pulled on high leather boots, drew gauntlets over his hand and stuffed the spaces between breeches and boots, gauntlets and arms, with petrol-soaked rags. He shielded his eyes with close-fitting mosquito goggles and plugged his nostrils and ears with cotton. Then the natives drenched his clothes with petrol. Blas, who acted as doctor to the men, smeared a salve over him, and finally Leiningen was ready. And as he stood calmly surveying...
Ready for the run, I realized that this is as it should be. I, Leiningen, would meet the ants and defeat them, or be defeated by them. Leiningen versus the ants. Yes, it was right that it should be like this. But now there was no more time for thought. Only action. I took a deep breath and then bounded across the ditch and among the ants. I ran in long, equal strides with one thought, one sensation in my being. I must get through. I dodged the trees and shrubs. Except for the split seconds my soles touched the ground, the ants would have no opportunity to alight on me. I ran on. I was halfway to the dam before I felt ants under my clothes and a few on my face. I struck into them mechanically, scarcely conscious of their bites. And the dam drew toward me slowly. And the distance grew less. Finally, only 100 yards away. 50. Then I was there. I gripped the ant-covered wheel, but hardly had I seized it when a horde of ants flowed over my hands and arms. I strained, and slowly the wheel turned. And turned more. The floodgate was swinging slowly shut. Then it was shut. And the water was rising behind the breakwater. Closer to the top. Closer. And then it was spilling over. Flooding of the plantation had begun. I let go of the wheel and started back through the ants. I was coated from head to foot with the fiends. Tongues of fire stabbed at me as they bit into my flesh. I almost lost my head with the pain as I ran, knocking ants from my body, brushing them from my bloody face. And then one bit me just below the rim of my goggles. I managed to tear him away. But the agony of the bite and its venom drilled into the eye nerves. I saw now through circles of fire into a milky mist. I was almost blinded. But I knew that if I tripped and fell... I ran on, my heart pounding as if it would burst. Blood roaring in my ears, a giant's fist battering my lungs. And then I could see dimly that wall of flame at the ditch, but it was too far away. I could not last half that distance. I stumbled and fell. Felt myself being swarmed over, devoured. Tried to rise. A great weight. And then suddenly the vision of the half-devoured stag in my brain. 6 minutes, then nothing but bones. I couldn't let that happen to me. I couldn't die like that. To my feet. Drag myself forward. Draw the flame. The ditch. The ring of flame. Closer now. Only a little closer.
It seemed we had waited for hours when all at once, through the blazing ring around us, an apparition hurtled and fell full length on the ground. It was Leiningen, alive with ants, unconscious, with glazing eyes and lacerated face. We rushed to him, stripped off his clothes, and tore at the ants that covered him. His body seemed almost one open wound. In one place, I could see a white bone. Later, as the curtain of flame lowered, I looked out where the blanket of ants had been and saw only a vast expanse of water, covering the entire plantation and working its way to within a few feet of the concrete ditch. The ants were gone, drowned, and Leiningen had won. He lay on his bed, his body swathed from head to foot with bandages, but alive, and still in command.
Everything in order?
Everything's in order.
I told you I'd come back. Even if I am a bit streamlined.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson, and tonight brought you Leiningen versus the Ants by Carl Stevenson, adapted for radio by Robert Reif, with William Conrad as Leiningen and Lou Merrill as the commissioner. Music was conceived and conducted by Cy Feuer. Next week...
You are groping through a dark alleyway in the French Quarter of New Orleans, with terror driving you on, and always before...
Oh, you know what? I hadn't heard that play in a while. That was, of course, Leiningen versus the Ants from Escape, starring William Conrad. And I forget what the actor's name was who played the commissioner, but I'm pretty sure I recognize him from several episodes of Lights Out as well. Amazing show. Simply fantastic. One of the most famous old-time radio, especially suspense or escape episodes ever. And I thought it paired very nicely with our somewhat more lighthearted mosquito adventure from earlier in the episode. Well, that about does it for this edition of Live from the Icebox. We broadcast this live on Facebook and at FM at 106.9 FM pretty much every Sunday, and of course it is podcast from our website as well as from YouTube. Have those up and ready to go in a little bit. But of course, if you would like to join our show and participate in the comments live, Sunday 3:30 Central Time. Normally that is the time that we come on the air, and we're pretty good about it as well. No podcast drops this week. However, if you are near International Falls, come on by to the public library. It's right downtown there. On Tuesday at 6 p.m., we're going to be having another edition of the Radio Club. A lot of fun. Listen to a show, read some scripts. It's going to be a good time. And, before too much longer, summer will be here. In fact, officially, summer is here tomorrow, right? It's Memorial Day. And that means people go on vacation, so we just don't have time to do as many shows as we would like. Questions or comments? Our email address is iceboxradio51@gmail.com. We're also on the socials at Facebook and Twitter under Icebox Radio, and at the Instagram under Radio Icebox. So until next week, this is Jeff saying thanks for the download and reminding you to keep listening.